let's stop and let's not talk for that community. Let's get someone in that community to talk on their own behalf. I guess what I'm trying to say is, in terms of homogeneity, I guess I'm also Pākehā as well. So I'm as you heard, I'm a McKay, so I'm from Scotland too. So I'm Scottish. I am English from the Greenings, and that's up in my other part of my whakapapa. And so I can understand that way of thinking. So it's about equalising that thinking and bringing in those voices. And the wonderful things that I heard yesterday within the jury was, let's stop and let's not talk for that community. Let's get someone in that community to talk on their own behalf. And so I think in terms of equalising, I think that's important. That's an important factor in how we operate back home. I also think back home in New Zealand, we're a bit of a light for the world in terms of the dominant culture working alongside indigenous people. In terms of mahi and work going on, every big brand at home is trying to imbue te ao Māori. So they're, we get briefs from big brands and like, we want to use Manaakitanga. And I'm like, okay, here we go. How do we twist this? How do we make this yours? How do we use our creativity to give that special, unique thing to that brand? And so I definitely do look at New Zealand and Aotearoa as a light in how to work with indigenous people. And I'm going down in minutes here, so hope I'm not too preachy, team. This is kind of something that's really dear to my heart. There's a lot of learning going on back home. What we're seeing is a lot of big agencies wanting to do this as well. So they're building capability, and which I think is wonderful, because every network's come to me and said, hey Ray, how do we get more Māori into this industry? I'm like, kind of dealing with my shit. So if you can help, that'd be great. And that's what's happening. So we've seen a lot of big networks doing that very thing. So, how to be an ally. How to be an ally, team. Open-minded. No assumptions. Respect, obviously, we all know that. I think maybe more practical things are taking some of these values back to where you live. I'm not too sure where we're all from here. It could be in the States, Canada, Australia, wherever. But I think, seek out, and I will always do this, seek out your indigenous population there. You probably would have seen Taika pick up the Oscar and, thank the indigenous people of the land that he picked up that Oscar from. And so, that's a really, really, big moment in the history of acknowledging land, acknowledging the culture that was there before. And I think that's one really, really important thing that I've always kind of tried to share with anyone who wants to know about indigenous people. So I got a challenge. Be brave in making mistakes, I think. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone in every company we've worked with has made mistakes. I think that's one thing that we welcome. And if you can do that with an open mind and an open heart, I think that's the only thing we can ask for. So, ngā mihi, thank you. I've got one more thing though. I just wanted to. We got someone here? Oh, bro. So just one more thing before I go. So my kahununu ancestors used to say, kaua e haere me te rai anake, which means don't come empty-handed. So I've got something for D&AD, and I wanted to do this to extend my Manaakitanga back to the team at D&AD, because you reciprocated that to me. And there was a post back home that said, you used to have to win a yellow pencil before being considered being a judge. And I took that to heart, and I thought, how can I turn that negativity into something positive? So I'm bringing a taonga, a treasure to you, to say thank you for opening the space to Indigenous people like myself, Brad Cook, Mark Rutledge, and others who are in a minority or who may have been oppressed. So I've got something for you. This has been hand-turned by two of my brothers, and it's also been carved as well. So the carvings that are on this, actually, they represent
They represent abundance of creativity. They represent aroha, Manaakitanga, and you've extended me that, so I want to give that back to you. And also a wero, a challenge to keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate everything you've done. So. Thanks,